everybody. We've got Vern's No, we don't have Vern's excavator hooked up to the tractor. We've got Vern's rototiller hooked up to the tractor. Kaylee and I just went and picked it up from Vern Van, and we're gonna go down here into the food plot that we made in the middle of the woods. Kind of a staging area plot, really. And we're gonna try to rototill it. We'll see how it works. Well, as you guys can see, we made it down here with Vern's rototiller. We got it hooked up to the John Deere. We did get a little bit of rain last night, so there's a few wet spots in here, but we're gonna go ahead and see how this does. We're just gonna take it really slow, and we're not gonna sink that in all the way. We're just gonna take like the first 3 inches of dirt and just see how it does. Obviously, there's a lot of roots in here from trees that I dug out with the excavator, but we're just going to go back and forth and see how we can do here. As you guys can see, we've got this little interior plot all rototilled up, and I was actually really impressed with Vern's rototiller in here. I mean, it really went right through a lot of these roots, hardly even made it pop out of the ground. I was pretty surprised. A lot of them were already ripped on one end, so it helped it, but just really ate them right up. Pretty impressed. I'm also kind of impressed with this soil. Soil looks really good. Looks pretty rich. It's not your typical, you know, woods type soil. This is all creek bottom soil, so this is all probably just runoff for years in here. So I think it's gonna grow some seed. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're gonna get a little bit more rototilled over closer to the blind, and then I'm gonna get the onX app, and I'm gonna see exactly how big this is by walking the outer perimeter and see. I think it's a little over half an acre, which is pretty dang good, you know, food plot for the middle of the woods. I got it all ready for seed. This whole thing is ready to rock and roll. We're gonna have some good views out of the stump 3. That's for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and walk it and get an exact size on it and see what we got. Let's look at the view from the blind. I'm gonna build this wall up more for better access as well. That is a nice view out that window right there. I got mud all over my shoes, so I don't want to step in there. But that's gonna be pretty darn nice through there. Here's the view from the end of the plot right here. A lot of the deer are bedded right over in here, and they work their way in the evening out this way, and they work this edge of the creek up. Hopefully they come and use this plot as a staging area and kind of feed out here and just work their way right up toward, you know, the pinch on the creek where the stump is. In the morning, a lot of the deer come the opposite way. They come from that direction, they work this way to come into bed. So either way, they're funneled right through that pinch by the creek right there. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of our track right where we started, which is right there. So we're gonna stop, save. Now we got a perfect outline of the plot. I had one drawn up in my head right there, but you can see that I was a little bit off. So we're gonna go ahead and go to tools, area shape, and then we're gonna outline our track and see how big this is. We're coming over here to the main plot in the pasture. We're gonna gear down a little bit here. And so it was super wet down there when I planted all this up here. So we're gonna go down there and rototill all that, and then we're gonna plant that tomorrow too. It's just like probably 1/8 of an acre, just a little spot down there. So while we got Vern's rototiller on, we'll go knock it out. You can see Nebraska's coming up pretty good here. We got lots of pretty good space in between each plant, which is what you want. You don't want Nebraska coming up looking like a carpet. That's when you know you didn't do it right. So we got lots of space in between each plant, which is important. Looking good. Watch how fast I can rototill this. It is the next morning. Last night you seen me get all this rototilled. I got the rototiller back to Vern Man, and now we're gonna get this all seeded down. So I had to change the plans. I was gonna do winter rye on all this stuff down here because of the soil being questionable with moisture content, but it's actually not bad. I was surprised how much it actually dried up. I'd come down here and I had plowed it all up and dished it and just let it sit for the last 3 weeks, and it dried up pretty nice. So instead of just doing rye, it's a little early for planting rye. You'd really want to wait till the end of August to get that rye in, so it doesn't get too mature. And the deer don't like super mature rye, they like it kind of young. So what I'm going to do is just plant this to a mix. We've got, there's all kinds of different stuff in this Imperial Whitetail mix I got from Daniel down at the bow shop. It's called Destination, and we've got whitetail oats, which is 30% of the bag, so there's quite a bit of whitetail oats in there. We've got frigid triticale, winter peas, clover, kale, radish, kind of all kinds of stuff. So that's one of the things I like about questionable areas that I'm planting. When I have really good soil and I know it's going to do really well, I like planting a single thing, like a single type of brassica. I don't like mixes because I know I can get a good crop. Whereas in questionable spots, I like planting mixes because if something doesn't do good, if the brassica or radish doesn't do good in here, the triticale will, or the oats will. So it's kind of like a fail-safe method by using a mix in an area like this. And obviously, if it's a disaster, you can always come back in here late August, early September, and hammer it with winter rye. So that's going to be what I do over in my woods plot in Cherry Ridge. I think I'm gonna do that mix. If it does good, it does good, it's great. If not, I'm gonna come back in there and hammer it with winter rye later on. But the soil is really exceeded my expectations, especially down there in that food plot. So let's go ahead and get this seeded and get after it. We got rain forecasted this afternoon. We got this whole food plot right here all taken care of, and it takes a little while to get your opening right in your seeder here, but we've got everything on the money, and I'll come in here and roll this all in once I do the food plot over there in the woods. But you can see there's some of our oats, some of our brassica. There's a winter pea right there. This will be perfect to get in here with the roller, roll this all in. We've got rain this afternoon. Perfect. Let's go plant the interior woods plot down in Cherry Ridge with the rest of this. We got a ½ acre in there. So each one of these bags does a ¼ acre, which was pretty much what this is, a ¼ acre in here. We made it down here to the interior plot, and as you guys saw last night, I got all this rototilled up with Vern's rototiller. And thanks for letting me use your rototiller, Vern. It actually worked a lot better than I was thinking it was gonna with these roots. It really ate the dirt up just fine. It's impressive. So now I walk the outer perimeter of this and use the onX map to determine how big it is, and it's ½ an acre. So it's actually pretty good size. So we're going to use 2 of these bags of Destination by Imperial Whitetail, and we're going to see how it does. Obviously sunlight's a little bit of an issue with these big maple trees in here. I opened it up quite a bit though, and you know, there is quite a bit of sun that gets to the ground. The soil is actually really good looking. I didn't take a soil sample, but just looking at it, it looks pretty fertile. It's just runoff from the creeks right there. So let's go ahead and get all this seeded down. And just like that, food plots for fall 2023 are all done. Well, I gotta roll them, and then that's it. So this one, I had my seed rate really low on this, so that way I had to go over it 3 or 4 times. But what that ensures is that you get, you know, perfect coverage. You don't want to overseed, or, you know, you're better off underseeding than overseeding when it comes to stuff like this. But we got it right on the money, and we'll get the roller down here and get it all rolled in. You can see just by looking, there's a brassica right there, there's a clover right there, and here is your oats and triticale. So we got good coverage throughout the whole half acre here. We'll go back and get the roller and get it all rolled, and then there's rain coming this afternoon, I believe. We got the roller set up right here, and we're just gonna go ahead and roll all the seed in. I had Slava's class that worked on this roller and rebuilt it for me, and they did a heck of a job, so shout out to them. It works absolutely awesome. We're getting the final plot rolled here. It's looking really nice. This is obviously the plot that's right inside the woods here. This is half acre, and I think this is going to be a pretty special spot this fall. This is my first ever interior food plot. I've never made one just like in the middle of the woods like this, so this will be kind of an interesting experiment to see how it actually does and how it affects the deer. I'd like it to be kind of a staging area before they get out to the big ag. So something we're gonna find out, but it's rolling up nice, and we've got rain on the way, and we're gonna be all set.